Welcome to a world of ideas. I'm Ron Isaacson, and this is an introduction to the Idea Shuffler, the second in a series of videos about the Idea Shuffler. It is recommended that you watch the Idea Shuffler overview first. If you haven't watched it, check it out at ideashuffler.com. In the overview video, you learn what the Idea Shuffler is, why you need it, and a little bit about the mechanics of using it. In this video, you will primarily learn more about the mechanics of using the Idea Shuffler. So let's get started looking at the Idea Shuffler. We will look at an example from a field we all have some experience with, education. The example will look at the concepts related to project-based learning. So here we are in the Idea Shuffler tool. Notice the Idea Shuffler is a full screen application to maximize viewing area of the diagram. Here is the main user input window that shows you your current options. There is always one user input window open that gives you the options available for what you are currently doing. So there is no confusion about what your current options are. An Idea Shuffler model consists of diagrams and supporting documentation. Clicking the Document button gives you a document for your model. This is where you can place additional information about your model. So here is the document I created for project-based learning. You can minimize the user input window to make it easier to look at the diagram by clicking the Window's minimize symbol. Idea Shuffler model diagrams consist of concepts that are arranged on a diagonal and associations neatly arranged around the concepts. You can bring back the user input window by left-clicking on the diagram and pressing B on the keyboard. Concepts can have different shapes and colors or can be just words. You can add concepts by clicking the Add Concept button. Notice the concept shows up at the far right. This first line is the concept name. We'll call this test concept. You can add up to 3 additional comment lines under the concept name. Concept emphasis allows you to change the width of the border around the concept. More emphasis, thicker border. The shape option allows you to select one of these shapes. No shape, minimum, square shape, rectangle shape, horizontal lines, ellipse, or circle. We'll select the minimum shape. You can select among an array of colors. Just click on the color you want. And then, if you click the Done button, you've added the concept. Since we don't want this concept, we will cancel it. Left-clicking on a concept allows us to change the concept. So here we will click on the online learning concept. Notice how the Modify Concept window is placed near the concept you want to modify. Here you have similar options to the Add Concept window, except you have the additional options of increasing or decreasing the size manually. So clicking the Done button completed modifying the concept. The associations are neatly arranged above and below the concepts. Notice the associations below the concepts all go left to right and then up. We call that feed forward. While associations above the concepts all go right to left and then down. We call that feed back. Each association has a button. Buttons can have different colors based on whether they are neutral, positive, or negative. In the project-based diagram, green is for positive associations, and red is for negative associations, and no color is for neutral associations. The colors for associations can be changed in the Settings window. You can modify associations by clicking on the Association button. Here we will click on the association between homeschooling and social learning. Notice how the Modify Association window is placed near the association you are modifying. Now you can add or change the words for the association in these two lines. You can make the association positive, negative, or neutral by moving this slider. Notice how the association color changes. You can emphasize the association by increasing the emphasis, which makes the association line thicker. Clicking the Done button completes the association. You can add associations by left dragging the mouse from the concept the association is from to the concept the association is to. So here we will drag from creative teaching to homeschooling. Notice that the Modify Association window is placed near the concept the association is to. You have the same options that I just went over for adding an association. I don't want this association, so I will click Delete Association. You learn a lot about something just by going through the process of creating the diagram. Because the concepts and associations are so organized, your mind readily captures and remembers what the diagram indicates. This diagram has not been shuffled. It has 11 concepts and over 39 million different arrangements. Hard to believe, but true. Obviously, it isn't practical to go through all of these arrangements manually. And an average of 10 seconds per arrangement, it would take about 108,300 hours. That's where the Idea Shuffler shuffle algorithm comes to the rescue. Just click the shuffle button and the computer will go through thousands of arrangements quickly to see if it can find a better diagram. So we will click the shuffle button. The result of the shuffle is shown in this diagram. Depending on the diagram complexity and the computer capability, the shuffle can be completed almost instantly to taking approximately 1 to 2 minutes. I think most people would agree that this diagram looks easier to understand. You may think it would be easy to get to this arrangement without the shuffle, but remember, there are over 39 million different arrangements to choose from. You can shuffle a diagram as many times as you want and see if there is a diagram you like even better. We also can quickly and easily manually move concepts, and the associations move appropriately by right dragging a concept to another location. So we'll move a few concepts to This is handy because sometimes we have a reason for putting a concept at a particular location. Also, sometimes we do not want to shuffle at all because we want concepts in a particular order for some reason, like a chronological order or the order of process steps. Now we will reload the model we had before the manual changes. You have another documentation option. If you right-click a concept, you will open a document that is just for that concept. For example, I will right-click on the concept online learning and get a document just for it. We'll close the document now. Also, each concept can have its own diagram. This creates what we call layers of the model, and there can be as many as you want. Just double-click on a concept and you have the diagram if it exists for that concept. So we'll double-click on online learning. Here you would create a model for your ideas about online learning. So you can make your model as large as you want by breaking it up into layers. We will click up one layer on the main menu to go back to the previous diagram. We have several ways of adding notes to our diagrams. We can add side notes by clicking on More Options and then Notes Side. You can add side notes to the upper left, upper center, upper right, lower left, and lower right. In this diagram, we have a copyright notice on the lower right. And we'll click Done. We can add a movable note to the diagram by clicking Note Movable. You can add up to 6 lines to your movable note. I already added a movable note to this model on another diagram, so we will load that diagram, which is the final project-based learning diagram. So here is our movable note. A movable note can be moved anywhere on the diagram by left dragging the upper left corner of the note. You can also use a concept as a note. So gain an advantage in the complex world we live in. Use the Idea Shuffler. Thank you for watching this video.